Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we are going to talk about the match between Barcelona and Villarreal, and in this match, which was Koeman's first competitive match, we have won 4-0. And let me tell you, it was a very exciting match. There's a lot to talk about in today's video, and overall this was a match that Barcelona highly did need after what we have been going through in the past 3 or 4 months. Again, Barcelona has won 4-0, and so the way that I'm going to structure this post-match review is I am going to talk about the first half and then the second half, and then at the end I will be talking about my overall feeling of this whole game. And so starting with the first half, this is the lineup that we did start with. It was a very strong lineup, something that was highly expected from Ronald Koeman. I knew for a fact that Koeman wanted to nail his first match and really get a good strong first start win. And even with that being said, with this strong lineup that Ronald Koeman did place, we still saw the same defense, which was Jordi Alba, Lenglet, Piqué and Sergio Roberto, which was a defense that highly does concern many Barcelona fans. But regardless with that, I think that this was probably the strongest 11 Ronald Koeman could put out. And overall, I was completely fine with the starting 11. And so going into the first half, it actually did take a while to settle in, because in those first 10 to 15 minutes, we did not really have no real goal opportunity. Yes, were we creating chances? We were. There were players like Coutinho and De Jong who were trying to create chances for their teammates, which was great to see. We saw Coutinho respect the space of De Jong, and we saw De Jong respect the space of Felipe Coutinho. It was very well balanced between those two players, but it did not take too long until we saw the first goal be scored in this match. And on the 15th minute, we did see Ansu Fati score the first goal against Villarreal, and it was an absolute stunner. This is a goal that we did not expect Ansu Fati to score, and then later on, about 4 minutes later, on the 19th minute, Ansu Fati yet again scores his second goal. And let's just stop right here for a second, because I really do want to talk about Ansu Fati. I think that what we are seeing here, it is something that's really special. Ansu Fati is a player that performs at a level that needs to be respected, because at 17 years old, to play at that level really tells you so much of what Ansu Fati could be. And in the previous video, we did assess one problem that Villarreal did have, and that was the right back position. In their previous 2 matches, it was clear that Villarreal's right backs are not the best, and they do make a lot of errors on that side. And I'm glad to see that Ronald Koeman analyzed this extremely well and said, okay, if Villarreal is going to show that weakness on their right side, on the right back area, let's place Ansu Fati there and let Ansu Fati handle the rest. And that is exactly what we did see. Ansu Fati completely tortured that right hand side from Villarreal, and we must really take a moment, right, to really appreciate Ansu Fati and his performances, because again, at 17 years old, to be able to do that and get the job done required to win this game, it is something that is truly special. And I think that what we are seeing here is the beginning of a transition, which is to handle the mantle towards the next big star player in FC Barcelona. Now, I'm not saying that tomorrow we can see Ansu Fati completely replace a player like Lionel Messi. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this is the beginning of a transition. This is going to take time. It is going to take time to us to safely say that Ansu Fati can take the role of Lionel Messi, which is why, again, I'm saying that this is the beginning of a transition. And Cadena said did come out with a very interesting stat, and it says here, Ansu Fati has scored 10 goals with only 15 shots on target with Barcelona's first team. And that is what you call potential. That is what you call having a lethal attacking player in Barcelona. Ansu Fati can get the job done. And here's the one thing that I have really noticed about Ansu Fati, right? And that is that usually when we do hear about a young player playing within a club, they usually score after the other veterans do score in that game. Ansu Fati is a completely different case. Ansu Fati is that player to score the first goal. He is that player to get the ground running. He does not wait for Messi or Coutinho or De Jong or Griezmann to score and then wait for his turn to score the goals. Ansu Fati does want to be the first in line to really say and tell the opposition that we are going to win this. We are going to win this game, and that is by me scoring the goal first. And the last thing that I do want to say about Ansu Fati is this. In the past 18 months that we have seen this player play for FC Barcelona, he has been performing at this level under 3 different coaches, which was Valverde, Setien, and then Ronald Koeman. And that tells us 2 things of what Ansu Fati can do, is that he is adaptable. He can adapt under any coach. And the second thing is that Ansu Fati likes to play his own game. No matter what coach he does play under, Ansu Fati continues to play his own game, and that is the reason why I believe that Ansu Fati continues to be successful, is because he is so confident on what he can bring to the table. And that's it, right? This was Ansu Fati's night. This was a game to be remembered by Fati, and hopefully Ansu Fati continues to cherish this match alongside with his friends, his family, his teammates, and just really enjoy the process of this whole season. And then later in the game, we did see Ansu Fati win a penalty. Then we saw Messi take that penalty and he did score that goal. And then later in the match, we did see an own goal from Pau Torres. And that basically sums up the first half. And I want to talk about 3 players that did stand out within that first half, since all the action really did happen in the first half. The first one is obviously Ansu Fati. The second one is Felipe Coutinho. I think that what Coutinho did do today is something that hasn't been talked about a lot, and that is that Coutinho has shown that he can create chances and that he has the ability to work with any of his teammates. In Barcelona, we see a midfielder like Vidal really work with a player like Lionel Messi, or we see a player like Rakitic really work well with Luis Suarez. But with Coutinho, in his case, he works well with all of his teammates, which is Griezmann, Ansu Fati, Lionel Messi, and De Jong. And for the first time ever through this first half, I really did feel like this was not a Lionel Messi game. This was a Barcelona game, which was something that we haven't felt in a very long time. Because let me remind you, within that second goal from Ansu Fati, when we did see Coutinho take that ball to the final third, Coutinho had a decision to make, and that is, okay, am I going to pass it to Lionel Messi, who has all the space in the world and what seems like the safest choice, or should I pass it to Ansu Fati, who is completely covered by all of these defenders? And surprisingly enough, Coutinho chose Ansu Fati. He believed that that was the right choice. He trusted Ansu Fati over Lionel Messi, and that tells you so much on what this Barcelona team really is. And it also tells you that the players in Barcelona do not always have to rely on Lionel Messi or look for Lionel Messi to create a goal or score a goal. And the other player that I do want to talk about is Jordi Alba. Surprisingly, Jordi Alba did get the Man of the Match award, and I'm not surprised. I think that Alba did have a good match in this game. He also did contribute to Ansu Fati's first goal, which was the assist. And so I do applaud and I do congratulate Jordi Alba for bringing a great performance in tonight's game. Going on into the second half, there's not really much I could say. It did remain 4-0. Like I said before, all of the action was being made in the first half. But in the second half, I do want to point out one thing, and that is the substitutions. Koeman made 4 substitutions in this game, and that was Dembele, Trincao, Pjanic, and Pedri. And I really want you guys to notice one thing, and that is that Koeman really does rely on the youth. Because if we look at the substitutions, we're talking about a 23-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And I believe that what we are seeing here is that Koeman does want to emerge a new Barcelona. Because just really pay attention on who Koeman did replace Coutinho with, and that was Pedri, a 16-year-old player that did come from Las Palmas. And the other point is this, is that Koeman does like to rely on having fresh wingers, which is why we always see players like Trincao and Dembele come into this match. And I think that Koeman's Barcelona is super simple, right? I'm going to end it here. I'm going to stop talking about the second half, and I'm going to talk about my overall view of Koeman's Barcelona. Right now, I think that Koeman's Barcelona is extremely simple to understand. Koeman wants to have a Barcelona that wants to have wingers that do function on the inside. He does not have his wingers usually touch the sidelines, which is something that's very interesting, right? And I think that Koeman's Barcelona is really going to heavily rely on great world-class wingers. The other thing that I have noticed about Koeman's Barcelona is that he does want to implement fast transitions. This is something that we have been struggling with under Setien and Valverde. With this Barcelona, Koeman can easily achieve that with the wingers that he does have and the midfielders that he does have in place. And most importantly, this Barcelona under Koeman does have more directness. It's much more vertical, which is something that's highly appreciated after seeing the Barcelona under Setien and Valverde. And so I really do like what I'm seeing here. I like that Barcelona is being more lethal. They are more of the high risk, high reward type of Barcelona. And I think that that's greatly going to pay off only because of the players that Koeman does have in his hand. And I want to end it with 2 problems that I did find in this match that really does need to be assessed. Regardless of all the good things that we did see in this game, the 2 problems is this. One is Busquets. Busquets has been a player that we have always admired, and you and me know that Busquets is a legend in Barcelona. But in this game, Busquets has been a player that has slowed Barcelona going forward. He is a player that has misplaced so many passes passes where it could have potentially lead into a great goal scoring opportunity. And Busquets is also a player that is not capable enough to put himself in the right position as quickly as possible. Busquets is a player that is rapidly slowing down, and so something does need to be assessed in that position. I like what Pjanic did bring earlier in the game, and so hopefully we get to see more of a double pivot between Pjanic and De Jong, or maybe Puig and De Jong. But the role of Busquets does need to be dropped. The second problem was Antoine Griezmann. Now, as for the Antoine Griezmann case, I'm not going to say Griezmann's performance was horrible. The main reason why I do want to bring Griezmann in is because there is a lot of uncertainty from the players around Antoine Griezmann. I do believe that Griezmann is implementing his role correctly. He is doing what he needs to do. But again, the players that he does have around him, I just have a feeling that they do not trust Antoine Griezmann. Griezmann does make the runs. He always tries to find those open spaces. And every time I do see players like De Jong or Coutinho or Messi not choose to pass it to Antoine Griezmann, you can just see on the field throughout the match that every time Griezmann does expect the ball and he doesn't get the ball, he looks extremely disappointed. So if you guys do decide to watch the match again between Barcelona and Villarreal, really pay attention to every time De Jong had the ball, because I think that there were so many times where De Jong and Griezmann could have connected extremely well, but De Jong did not want to pass it to Griezmann. I have no idea why, but he usually chose either Fati or Felipe Coutinho to pass it to. But I think that if we do tweak that situation there between De Jong and Antoine Griezmann, I think that from there Griezmann can get the job done, and hopefully they do, because I think that Griezmann is capable enough to put himself in the best possible position to succeed. And so those were my only two critiques. I think that right now Barcelona is going to the right direction. I think that Koeman's Barcelona does have a clear plan. The players know what Koeman wants, and that is a great thing to see. And Koeman did say a few things after the match, and he said this: Fati's performance should have been highlighted. I was complaining a little last week when he didn't show his maximum performance in preseason. He's only 17 years old. He will have a great future, but he also must improve things. Sometimes he lacks a bit of concentration. And I love to hear that. I love to hear that Koeman, even though Ansu Fati did perform extremely well in this match, I'm glad to see that Koeman does want to continue to push a player like Fati and get the maximum out of that player. Then he continued to say, I'm very happy with what we have shown in the first half. We dominated the opposition. We played like a great team, recovering balls, and our transition in attack has been optimal. And there you go. That is the best way to summarize the Barcelona performance against Villarreal. We are showing traits and characteristics that we have not shown in a very long time, and I'm happy to see that Barcelona is going to this right direction. And overall, as for me, I'm happy with this performance. I think that we can improve. This is not the final product of Koeman's Barcelona. This is only the beginning, and hopefully we get to see every player within this squad continue to improve their game. And so if you guys are wondering what's next, what should we expect within these next 3 or 4 days? Well, right now it says here, according to Fabrizio Romano, Barcelona and Ajax are now signing paperwork for Serginho Dest. The deal is 100% done. A contract until 2025 will be placed. His agents have told Bayern's board that Dest will be playing for FC Barcelona. And so this is going to be a story that will be talked about within these next 36 to 48 hours. We will be assessing what Serginho Dest could bring to FC Barcelona. I do expect Barcelona to announce this player either by Monday morning or Monday night. We don't know, but Serginho Dest will be a Barcelona player, and I will be talking about it here in this YouTube channel. And so that is it. Barcelona have won 4-0. We will be signing Serginho Dest, and that'll be it for today's Barcelona post-match review. Let me know what you guys did like from this match. What don't you like from this match? Put it in the comment sections down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.